Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. Today's video is going to be the new makeup releases that have been announced for January 2023. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. If you're into eyeshadow palettes, Essence and Catrice, and getting the use out of your makeup the way I am, then definitely stay tuned because today's video we're going to be chatting about some new makeup releases. Will I buy these and am I interested in these, yes or no? And I normally do these top 5, bottom 5 style, but there were quite a few announcements and I was like, you know what? I just want to chat about everything, so in no particular order, I'm just going to start with the first product that I saved in my Instagram, like saved list, and then we're just going to roll through all of the ones until we're done, and I think there's over 20 things here that I wanted to mention today. So it's a little bit more than I normally do, but there were just a couple of really good announcements, but also some that where I'm like, why? Why? So let me just get to it, and in case you're unfamiliar with my channel, it may be good to know that I have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, which greatly skews my makeup preferences. And because I've been buying, trying, and reviewing makeup for more than a decade, I have some very strong favorites as well. So if you'd like to join the Snow Angel Club, then definitely click subscribe down below. So the first product I need to mention here is the new Power Grip Primer from e.l.f. This is their niacinamide version. I have never even gotten to try the original Power Grip, which people have said is a dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip, I believe. e.l.f. has been duping a lot of high-end makeup lately, and I can announce that once the Royal Mail strike in the UK is over, that I will be giving you a full face of e.l.f. like I already announced. I think back in September or October, I told you that I want to do a full face of e.l.f. But I will be trying the Power Grip in that because I have found out that the e.l.f. European website does now ship to the Netherlands. They used to be UK only, but they seem to have like elf.com ships to the Netherlands. I had never seen that before, so I did place myself an order because they had a pretty good sale going on right after Christmas. So I decided for the channel to buy myself a full face of e.l.f. So some of the products are already in because I got them from another website because they were out of stock on the e.l.f. website. But yeah, once that package arrives, I will be filming that for you. But since I think the warehouse is in the UK, I think I have to wait a little bit longer till I can do that. So I had planned it originally for this month, for January, for it to go live. But as we're speaking, I haven't even gotten a order notification saying that they've shipped it. So fingers crossed that it's going to be here very soon so I can do that video for you. ColourPop has announced a new palette, and there were actually quite a few people tagging me in this, like, hey, maybe you'd be interested in this. And this is the Aurora Struck eyeshadow palette plus some other bits, but it's really about the palette for me here. Those Lux glosses and also those highlighter sticks aren't really up my street. The eyeshadow palette looks really stunning, but I'm afraid that this is going to suffer the same fate as the, what was it called? The Stone Cold Fox that I used to have. With these larger palette from ColourPop, I feel there are just so many superfluous shades that I don't tend to reach for, and I see the same thing here. So even though it looks like a really pretty, cool-toned, pastel-leaning palette, I think this is great for people with fair skin especially, but I don't think I will be testing it out unless ColourPop starts doing like a really good deal in the next couple of weeks because they have released a couple of other things where I'm like, ColourPop, I may like that. And this is currently still in stock. I have been checking this out, eyeing it up, but I haven't even tried the palette yet that I got in the Black Friday sale. And when I swatched that, it was a Troublemaker palette. I swatched it and it felt again like that very hard-pressed formula that I have seen ColourPop do a lot for the past year or so, and it's just not my favorite. So depending on what formula is in here, I may or may not actually like this to begin with. So I'm still on the fence about this one. What do you guys think? Should I try this? I'm not sure. Then the Pat McGrath and Star Wars collab was announced as like a holiday limited edition collection, which, you know, she's done a couple of these over the past couple of years with different packaging each time. And the palette, like the Mothership palette that comes in it, doesn't really seem like anything too special. For the most part, I haven't been attracted to any of the Pat McGrath limited edition stuff. It just looks too much like the stuff she already does normally that I was like, I'd rather buy something that's not limited edition than that's around for a long time than something like this, especially with these kind of price points, because this goes for the similar price points that the normal Pat McGrath line goes for, and it may even be marked up a little bit because of the limited edition collection, so no can do. Now, I mentioned that ColourPop is doing some other things that I thought were interesting, and this is the Pretty Please palette. So this eyeshadow palette, it looks like a cool tone mauvey heaven. And I just cannot help but be sucked into this. Now, granted, I do think this may actually be very similar to things I already have in my collection. So again, one I don't need, but this one is pulling on my heartstrings. ColourPop is churning out the cool toned love at the moment, and we all know how much I love cool tones. So I just figured maybe if this is in stock, the Aurora Struck is in stock, and some of the other palettes that I will be mentioning in a bit are in stock. I may place myself a ColourPop order if they do a sale, but at the moment I'm like, no, I need to pass up on this. It's far too similar to things I already have, but yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, I keep hoping that ColourPop keeps doing good stuff, and so far the last couple of things I've tried haven't impressed me, so I'm just a bit nervous for this. Like, do I want to put my money towards this or not? I don't know. Then Rare Beauty has announced a new highlighter. This is the Light Silky Touch highlighter. It comes in 4 shades, and my favorite liquid formula is, favorite shade from the liquid formula is one of the shades that we have here. It's the shade Mesmerized. But in this formula, I would probably go for that very bright whitish shade. That looks really stunning. This is definitely something I'd like to try at some point. At the moment, I'm not buying anything from Rare Beauty because the only place I can buy it from is through, I think, can I get it through Space NK right now? I think they ship to the Netherlands too by now. So Space NK in the UK and French Sephora. Those are the only places I can get it from. Maybe, I hope, that sometime in January I can sort of plan out my travels for this year. And I definitely plan on going to both Paris and London again. Hopefully both of them in the springtime. So because the new job I'm at, I only have to work 4 days a week. So a day trip to Paris is actually something I can do in like a random week rather than having to wait for vacation time, which is options, people, options. So yeah, Rare Beauty, this highlighter, I'm definitely going to add to my collection at some point, but I need to get organized, and either I need to have multiple things that I want to get for the same website, or I need to travel to a certain destination to be able to pick this up. That's just the reality of it. Next up, we have the new highlighter from Charlotte Tilbury, the Hollywood Glow Glide Face Architect Highlighter. Apparently it comes in 7 shades. Now, I've seen those 7 shades, and nothing here looks light enough for me. So, I may have to check these out in store just to see what they're at. Charlotte Tilbury is always pulling a little bit on my heartstrings, even though I have just found that so many of the products just don't work for my fair skin tone. So this is definitely one where I have to go in store to see what it's all about, but for now it's a no. MAC has announced the Lunar New Year collection, and this always looks stunning. MAC always does some really stunning packaging for the Lunar New Year collection that they put out, but it seems to most of the time to just be repackaged standard collection stuff. I'm not even sure if this is actually something that's very different. It's just 2 highlighters and 2 blushes. I don't know. Maybe if these are your vibe, they might be nice, but not something I need to pick up for sure. Then the Asgard Queen Cosmetics, what is this called? Celestial Compass palette. So I actually saw Nikki Raven do her eyeshadow palette collection video in December, and she had a couple of palettes from this brand. And it's apparently also Russian, but they do take orders through DMs or something. I don't know. Seems a bit vague to me, but this looked like a really pretty color story. So maybe, I'm not sure if this is limited edition. It is limited edition, so maybe I'm already too late. I don't know, but this looks really stunning. Right up my street with these colors. Granted, instead of the yellow and the goldish shade, I probably would have gone for a taupe. But yeah, I'm not sure about this, but this could be an indie brand that I try some point this year. I will definitely be following them on Instagram. Then a brand that I'm sort of also, again, eyeing up from a distance, Shine by SD does some really stunning shimmers. I've seen them a lot over on Laura May Beauty's channel. She has a bunch of their singles. And Laura May Beauty was mentioning in one of her videos in December when she was doing Vlogmas that they were coming out with a palette. So I was like, oh, maybe I should like have a look at this. And then the palette was announced and I was like, this is not my kind of color story. Because I was like, that could be like a good first purchase from this brand. I had a look at the singles that they offer and I just feel that a lot of the shades they have are things I personally already own in my singles collection. So the need to really buy from them isn't really there for me right now. They're also based, I think, in is it Canada? Aren't they in Canada? I think they're in Canada. And I also read was it this website? I checked out so many websites in December. I don't know. But I believe they're not shipping internationally either, if I'm not mistaken, for the time being, at least. So that's an impossible thing to get my hands on. So too much effort, not going to buy anytime soon, and this palette is not it. Kaleidos came out with the Sound of Winter collection, which is 2 new sets of the Cloud Play lip clays. The name is always such a tongue twister. These look nice. They're an extension of their current range that they already offer, but it's 4 nudes and 4 shades where I'm like, did I really need those? I think I have the shades from Kaleidos that I would like to have. This is a stunning formula. If you don't love liquid lipsticks and you're like, ugh, try this. It's a very moussey, very pleasant texture. It's more of a liquefied lipstick. So it also has the wear time of something like this that comes out of a twist up tube. More so than like a dry down liquid lip. But these have some really fun colors. You can really play around with it. And their nude range is actually quite good because they do some really stunning mauve shades in it too. I don't personally have those because I don't tend to reach for nude lipsticks in this kind of formula, which is why I kind of skipped on most of those. Juvia's Place has a new launch as well. This is the Natural Radiance Foundation. And for the first time in a long time, I was interested in a Juvia's Place release because I was like, Natural Radiance Foundation. I'm like, that sounds like something I might like. Seems to be hydrating, which I love. But it does say it's long wear and water resistant. It doesn't say anything. Yeah, it says here it's a medium coverage. But with Juvia's Place, a lot of the releases they've done for complexion products has been very full coverage. So I'm a bit nervous about this one for that reason. But yeah, they do a stunner of a shade range here as well. It comes in so many shades. And I think that this may be one I need to try out at some point. But if you know anything about me, I have still a couple of drugstore foundations I still need to test out. I'm doing a couple of full faces at the start of the year for you as well. So that's more foundation that I'm trying out. And I have a bunch of BB creams now that I need to test out as well. So if I try this, it's not until the end of the year. Then a brush brand has some new releases. This is by Sonia G. And these are available through Beautylish, if I'm not mistaken. And these are some really pretty but also pretty expensive brushes. But I think that these look stunning. I'm currently not really looking into any more brushes. I got some more brushes for Black Friday, so I don't really currently need to try anything else. I tried, well, technically because I bought them in 2022. It's the 3rd brand I tried in 2022 because I haven't used them to put makeup on yet. But I've now tried 3 different brush brands in the past year, so I'm good on that. I'm good for like another year and a half until I need to start trying some new brushes again, I'm sure. But yeah, Sonia G, and some of you mentioned Hakuru, which is Polish, I believe. Some of you mentioned that as a good brush brand as well, so those are things I'd like to try. Then the last ColourPop release here that I spotted on Instagram, and I was like, ooh, that's nice. Sage Today and Petals on Point. Again, really pretty, sort of Natasha Denona retro glam dupes. That's what I'm getting from these, and that's why I would want to test these out, just to see how similar they are. I definitely think that the Petals on Point, which is the more pinky toned one, is more mini retro vibes, and then the Sage Today palette is more like retro glam vibes. So if you have both, you'll probably have like the retro glam, if that makes sense. I don't know. So yeah, this is again one that I would just like to try to compare it to things I already have. So again, not necessary for my personal collection. At this point in time, there's nothing I truly need anymore. But yeah, these were the other two palettes that, together with the Aurora Struck and the Pretty Please, I'm like, that could be a nice order from ColourPop if I can get a deal, because else ColourPop is a bit too expensive for me to buy. Now, I'm not sure if this happened to your feed as well, but my subscription box all of a sudden was filled with people talking about the new Makeup by Mario foundation, the Surreal Skin Liquid Foundation. Everybody's already trying this. Some people seem to love it. Some people seem to not like it at all. I don't know. It is a hydrating, long-wearing sort of foundation, but it seems to be luminous and breathable. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this one. I definitely like Makeup by Mario is definitely a brand that like has a couple of products that interest me, but not everything does. And again, the website ships from the US, so it's quite like it's pretty much very expensive to buy from the brand, is what I'm trying to say. So maybe at some point, but as I mentioned, I'm currently not in the market for trying new foundation, because I'm set for the year with those BB creams that I've added into the mix. So I really don't need to try this anytime soon. Then we have, I think this is actually going to be a Valentine's Day collection. I mean, I'm filming this January 1st, and we're already talking about Valentine's Day. I know it's only 6 weeks away, but still. Let me at least get started in this new year, okay? But MAC has this really pretty, the packaging is just really cute and adorable. Are these different shades as well? There should be more products as well, but yeah, they have some Glow Play lipsticks, and they seem to have some regular lipsticks. This looks nice, but I'm also not really in the market for any new lipsticks, to be quite fair. So these I'm going to skip as well. Tarte has a new contour, the Sculpt Tape. They're really going in with that Shape Tape vibe still, huh? What is it, 2016? Wasn't that when Shape Tape was all the rage? Maybe they need to move on. Anyways, it's a Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand, but then by Tarte. I think I can skip this, for sure. More new foundation. Like, all of the foundations suddenly dropped. It's like the new year, people want to look pretty, I think. That's what brands seem to be thinking. But this one's by NYX, and this is the Bare With Me Blur Tint. And it says it's hydrating, medium but buildable. I'm not sure about this. I mean, I still have to try some other products from the Bare With Me line. A lot of people recommended the concealer when I did my end of year favorites. And that's one I am actually interested in. I've seen a lot of people talking like really positively about it, so I'd like to try it at some point. This is probably going to take ages for it to become available over here, which is always an issue, but the blur in the name is just completely throwing me off. Usually when things are blurring, they tend to be more mattifying than dewy, and I prefer a dewy finish for sure. So that's why this is probably not one that's right for my skin, but again, an interesting one. If I were in the market to try some more foundation, I probably would pick this up if I can get my hands on it. Then I spotted the Sugar Drizzle Polish Trashed Raccoon eyeshadow palette. And this looks weirdly interesting to me, but it's like an all shimmer palette, and I'm like, yes to some shades, some no to others, and in the packaging, it looks prettier than in the swatch. So, also, I have a picture here with multiple images in one go, and in every picture, the palette looks differently. So this may be one that I just need to skip, because this is just too, how should I put it? I cannot tell what this palette is going to do for me in the long run. So we're skipping that. Then I have a Too Faced collection. This is the Cloud Crush Blurring Blush. I think these are cream blushes? Or not? I hope they are. The way they're swatched, it looks like a cream. It doesn't say here. None of the shades appeal to me, though. Like, these shades for blush are incredibly boring, especially if it is more of a cream formula. I'm like, I want like a bright red and like a very vibrant coral. Like, there is a vibrant corally shade, but If these are powders, I understand it, but if these are creams, then I want something more exciting. Then we have Dior's Spring Collection already with this stunning print, but the products are just incredibly boring. They are coming out with a cushion. Is this a cushion highlighter or a cushion? No, it's a cushion foundation. Are we going to see the return of cushion foundations in Western makeup? I would be interested in seeing that because I had a L'Oreal one. What was that called again? I love that thing. And I cannot, it was like discontinued ages ago. It was like a hype for a hot minute and everybody was doing cushion foundations and all of a sudden it disappeared. So now Dior is bringing it back? Okay. Okay. But yeah, I don't need this collection for sure. I really don't. More Rare Beauty, the Positive Light Under Eye Brightener, which is this a concealer? But it has one of those metal applicators. If this is a little bit more hydrating than the concealer they already do, then I'd love that. I'm wearing the Rare Beauty concealer today, and I like it, but it is a thicker formula, and if this is more hydrating and lightweight, I love that a little bit more. But yeah, this is definitely targeted towards just being an under eye highlighter, rather than a true concealer-like product. And it only comes in 6 shades? I'm not sure. But yeah, if I do pick up Rare Beauty, I would try this for sure. But I first need to find the brand in a store to be able to pick this up. Long story short, Natasha Denona, the Mini Pastel and the Pastel Plexi Glow Highlighter. I looked at this and I was like, no. Just no. The colors in the palette do not appeal to me at all, save for that grayish shimmer in the middle. But everything here has a bit of shimmer, save for the green. Why would you give a green matte? I don't. And why is there a bronze? Why is there a bronze? Like, if that had been like a color like the highlighter, I might understand it. But the highlighter, if you see it swatched, it looks very warm toned. I really don't get this. I mean, it looks pretty, but I really don't need this. I don't see the appeal. Hip Dot has a new collab with Sesame Street. This, I thought, was a good one. I don't like that it's Hip Dot because they only tend to do these kind of IP collabs, but I think, like, out of all of the IPs that a makeup brand could do a collection with, the one we hadn't seen yet was Sesame Street, or so I thought. But now we get that. Do I need this? Of course not. I really don't know. It's 3 palettes and lashes. Okay, whatever. And I think this is the last thing I wanted to chat about with you. And this is the new Makeup Revolution Lip Swirl Ceramic Gloss. These look stunning. And Makeup Revolution is another brand where I'm like, I haven't tried them in like a year or more than that. So maybe they're doing some other things that I might like. So I did, or at least I'm planning to do a full face of Makeup Revolution again. And these glosses are definitely on the wish list for that. So this is definitely something that I would like to try at some point when I get to try those Makeup Revolution products for a full face of Makeup Revolution. So those are all of the new makeup releases that stood out to me that I wanted to mention in today's video. Let me know in a comment down below what some of your favorite things are. I'm filming this a couple of days in advance, so, well, almost a week in advance. So I hope that there isn't anything too exciting launching in the meantime. That usually happens to me when I film these. But yeah, then I'll just mention it next month, of course, because I've got lots more content coming your way. I'm filming 4 videos a week on this channel, 1 video a week on my second channel, and I'm doing daily shorts over here and on my TikTok. So if you'd like to stay tuned for more, subscribe, follow me on all those other places if you'd like. All the links are in the description box down below as well. And then I would like to wish you a very happy Sunday. Take care, everybody. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye.